On the 157th episode of the HatTrick Sports Podcast, we're going to be talking about the MLB Midseason Classic. The Seahawks just sold for a record-setting $9.6 billion. And then Wemby also signs a record deal with the Spurs. Make sure you use code HatTrick Sports when checking out at w.gg for 10% off your order. Roll it! Welcome to HatTrick Sports, starring your host, Isaiah Carpenter. Bringing you the biggest sports headlines every week. This is the HatTrick Sports Podcast. We are here filming episode 157, and we're going to start it off talking about the MLB midsummer classic. Now, the Futures game just ended. We still have some MLB games going on today, but today is the last day of MLB games. This is being filmed on Sunday. This is the last day of MLB games until like Thursday or something, because tomorrow, on Monday, we have the Home Run Derby, and then on Tuesday, we have the All-Star Game, and then they usually give everybody Wednesday off. And yeah, it's an exciting time. I think players enjoy it. It's like a half week off of rest. They can rest. The guys that are participating in the Home Run Derby and the All-Star Game kind of have time to be like, not less competitive, but kind of have a little bit of a break, get to see their friends on different teams, stuff like that, but it's cool. So the Home Run Derby is going to be on Monday. The Home Run Derby this year is in Philadelphia. It's going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Netflix. It's a brand new format this year. I have it right here. There's going to be... Oh, where did I put it? Yeah, so there's 8 players competing with the top 4 seeded into a bracket format after the first round. So the first round is 20 swings. They're getting away with that dumb time stuff and going back to the swings. The first round, you get 20 swings. The second round, you get 15 swings. And in the final round, you get 15 swings. The tiebreakers are, in round 1 is going to be the home run distance. And then there will be 3 swings and a swing off in rounds 2 and 3 if there are tiebreakers. Let's go towards each player though. There's an 8-man field as there is every year. You have Kyle Schwarber back in the Home Run Derby. Right now he leads the major leagues. He leads the league with 32 home runs, and he's competing in his own ballpark. So I think Schwarber is favorites up there. And then his teammate Bryce Harper, who also plays in Philadelphia. These two don't have to travel at all. Bryce Harper won the 2018 Home Run Derby at the Nationals Park, and he could become the 2-time Derby champion and the second to ever win at his own ballpark, which in 2018 he also won at his home park, which would be cool if he won this year. I think this next guy, Caminero is a legit dude this year for the Rays, especially over the last month. 27 home runs. He came in runner-up last year in Atlanta during his 45 home run season. And if Caminero were to win on Monday, he would be the youngest Derby champion ever because he is just 23 years old. He is turning around the Rays. I think he's a big part of that, of the Rays turning it around this year. And then this other guy, Ben Rice. Aaron Judge obviously on the IL. Somebody had to step up. Ben Rice is that guy. He has 28 home runs this season. If he ended up winning, it would be the Yankees' first champion since the 2017 Home Run Derby, where Aaron Judge ended up winning it back in 2017. But Ben Rice, decent pick this year. You have Jordan Walker for the Cardinals, 22 home runs. He has the most RBIs out of the entire league with 73 RBIs, and has the second fastest bat speed in the major leagues. And this is a very much like a breakout season for him. He's only 24 years old, and this season is going to define his career. Hopefully just get it started. You have Murakami, who had a slow start to the White Sox, ended up signing with the White Sox after nobody else would sign him. But he just returned from his hamstring injury. He was injured from his hamstring, but he still has 20 home runs this season, and he is the second Japanese-born player to participate in a home run derby. Shohei Ohtani, obviously number 1. Jack Caglione for the Royals will also be participating this year. He only has 14 home runs, but he was a first-round pick 2 years ago, and from his last 6 home runs, so out of his most recent home runs, he is averaging 423 feet per home run in his last 6 home runs. That's unreal. That is far, far bombs. And hopefully this will help him out because, again, it's the swing thing, and the tiebreakers in the first round are the distance. So this could be Jack Caglianone's going to be one of those players, I think, that is going to be maybe make it, maybe not make it to the second round, be a top 4 guy. But if he's averaging 423 in his last 6 home runs, he might get that distance, which could help him make it to round 2. And then lastly, we have Wilson Contreras. I would say last but not least, but he is one of the least out of this group. I hate to say it. Nothing against Contreras. He has 20 home runs this season so far, and this is his first home run derby appearance. You know, the Red Sox, they suck. They are atrocious this year. Who just retired? Trent Taylor just retired from the Cardinals. But Wilson Contreras, you know, the Red Sox suck, but they still get themselves a participant in the home run derby. Maybe he makes it to round 2. I don't see him going far. I'm rooting for Schwarber and Harper, and I think that they have good chances at winning. I think I would like to see Caminero do well. Ben Rice, I want to see do good. I want to see Jack Caglianone make it to at least round 2, even though I'm not super optimistic about it. Murakami, I'd like to see do well. I would like to see everybody. Jordan Walker, I think will be fine. Ben Rice. I think Contreras is just not going to be that well. I think Caglianone and Contreras are going to be like the 2 guys that they're going to have like a bust of a first round, and it's just going to be kind of like a joke. But whatever. They're both playing. They're all playing in the All-Star game. Yeah, I do want to see Harper and Schwarber face off in the final in round 3 together in the finals face-to-face. I feel like that in Philly, I feel like that would be good. I'd like to see that. That would be pretty exciting. But, yeah, Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Home Run Derby, the first real event other than the Futures game of the Midsummer Classic. And then you also have the next day, on Tuesday, you have the All-Star Game. This is always a fun event. You know, in every other league, nobody really cares about the All-Star Game. You have the Pro Bowl games in the NFL and the NBA. Nobody really cares about the All-Star Game. And the MLB, people actually care. And I don't know if that's because baseball, like, you have less risk of being hurt. And we're gonna talk about some guys missing it because they're hurt or they're risking injury. But the MLB does a great job with the Midsummer Classic. They honestly do. They do an incredible job, and I always like it. They have the on-field interviews for the All-Star Game. They make it very interactive. Not really interactive, but make it interactive for the players, and not something you always see in broadcasts in a real game. And I think the MLB does a great job with the All-Star Game, and obviously there are like 100 people that are named All-Stars. Not 100, but over 50. There are over 50 All-Stars. But, yeah, over the last, 10 plus years, the AL has, dominated the National League. But if you look at a side-by-side comparison of AL teams versus NL teams so far this season, NL stomps them out of the water. But then you're looking at the stars. You're not looking at the teams as a whole. You're looking at the stars. I thought I had all the All-Stars here. I think that the NL has a chance this year. Now, that could just be a Dodger fan saying that. The AL, sure, they have some good guys, but in the AL as a whole, on each team sucked this year. In the National League, they have all the Dodgers. I mean, they're already champions. But yeah, I'm excited for the All-Star Game. I feel like the MLB does it really well. And I think the NL has a chance this year. Zach Wheeler was part of some drama with the All-Star Game. He rejected his invite to the All-Star Game. Now, let me go over his stats real quick. He is 9-1 with a 2.28 ERA, a 0.91 WHIP, a 4.3 WAR. He's one of the best pitchers in the NL right now, and he turned down his late All-Star invite because it was a late All-Star invite. He said that he felt disrespected because he was the 5th option. When, again, I named those stats, that shouldn't be a 5th option. You know, he just came out of surgery and missed the first month of the season. Oh my God, I don't know what's going on with my nose. He missed the first month of the season, and maybe that was the MLB's we don't want to give him the first option. I don't know. But the same day that he was snubbed from the first round of the handouts for pitchers, he struck out 14 batters against the Reds. So that was a little reminder. He said that was a reminder for whoever needs to be reminded. He also said, this is a quote, "They disrespected me, so I'm not going to participate." He's a 3-time All-Star. The last 2 seasons, he was an All-Star. And he said he cares about the legacy and the honor that it's handed to. Do I think this is bigger than it needs to be? Yes. Do I think that the MLB should have invited him earlier because he's had an incredible season so far? Arguably, he's going to be in the Cy Young race. Yes. But he is still pitching tonight against Tarek Skubal. Actually, no, he's not. I take that back. No, he is not pitching tonight. There are 6 Phillies in the All-Star that are going to be playing in their own stadium. And again, Zach Wheeler, it's a pitch in his own stadium. Would have been nice. But again, the MLB didn't invite him at first, and then it's kind of like it's the MLB's fault for not inviting him. He should have definitely been invited. There's no reason why he shouldn't have. But then, like Wheeler, then they invite you. You're complaining that they didn't invite you. Then they end up inviting you. You say no. I don't know. I feel like it's not that deep. It's the All-Star game. It's supposed to be fun for everybody. And I'm excited. I'm excited for the All-Star game. I'm always excited for the All-Star game. I feel like you get to learn a lot about the players as people because you always see it as a sport and as a competition and as a business, not so much as, these guys are real people. These are real guys. Another news in the All-Star game, Shohei Ohtani is going to miss the All-Star game. He's missing the All-Star game because his left knee... he's going to get his left knee drained and receive pain-relieving injections. He's been a little hurt recently. His knee bothers him only when he's pitching, but even with that, he's still hitting fine. He's hitting right now 247, 350, 528 with 8 home runs since his flare-up. Take the time off, Shohei. You deserve the time off. We need you ready for October. The All-Star game doesn't mean anything to us. Take your time. You have 2 kids now. Take care of them. Make sure Mama Ohtani's doing all right. Take these 4 days to really regroup, relax, stay rested, because this is going to be the last time you're really going to rest until November, after you guys three-peat and you're going to be praised as king. Because Shohei Ohtani is king. He does have a 1.79 ERA on the season, but doesn't qualify. Doesn't have enough innings to qualify for Cy Young consideration, which sucks because he's doing incredibly on the mounds even though he's hurt. Roberts did make it clear that the goal is for October, and he's expected to be back in the lineup next Friday at Yankee Stadium when the Dodgers face off against the Yankees. Should be a great matchup. Just kidding. Dodgers are going to win it all there. A little 2024 World Series rematch later in the week. But, Shohei... Dodgers fans aren't going to like to hear this, and I'm a Dodgers fan, but Shohei is halfway done with his contract with the Dodgers. He's got to be close to halfway done with his contract. No. When does Ohtani's Dodger contract end? After the 20... Yeah, so the Dodgers still have 7 years left with Shohei, maybe a little bit more. But... all Dodgers fans have to consider that at the end of his career, at the end of his contract, he's probably not going to do both at an elite level. I vote that you keep him on the offensive side, batting first. But he's doing incredible on the mound. I just don't see it being realistic for him to go late in his career doing both pitching and hitting and risking the injury, because I would rather him hit than him being injured doing both. But he's still doing great right now. I don't think it's anything you have to worry about. I think it's just... I don't know. I think it's just being cautious. You don't want to risk the All-Star game for a World Series. I think that's what Ohtani's trying to do and the Dodgers trying to do. And I respect the decision. I obviously respect the decision. I want Shohei to do well with the Dodgers, not so much in the All-Star game. Some other All-Star roster news, though, is Justin Wroblewski, one of my favorite guys on the Dodgers. Wroblewski's doing incredible. He's kind of getting shoved down just because he's on the Dodgers, but he's an incredible pitcher. He is 10-2, 2.69 ERA, and he's 6th on the NL roster. But this is incredible. Wrigley, again, it's because the Dodgers have so many stars that these stars like Wrigley, yes, he is a star, kind of get shoved down, don't get the recognition they deserve. But good job, Wrigley. Way to be an all-star. It's about time. It took him a while to name him an all-star, and it kind of like made me mad. It's like, hey, like, can we name this guy, one of the best Dodgers pitchers right now? Can we name him an all-star even though he's pretty young? Tristan Peters for the White Sox. He's batting .303 right now. He was also added to the roster. Foster Griffin for the Nationals was added. He went to Japan for 3 years and then ended up coming back to the MLB and is now 10-2 with a 2.77 ERA. Have yourself a year, Griffin. And then Kurt Skamenik is going to be out, not going to be participating in the All-Star game because he sprains his thumb. Muy ouchie. He was hitting .266, 20 home runs. He's leading the league with 76 walks. You want to lead the league in walks and doubles. That's what you want to lead the league in. And Kurt Skamenik is doing just that. He's actually doing great. It sucks that he can't be in the All-Star game because, again, it's good for the good players to be around other good guys. Some of them are rivals, but they kind of push that away just for the weekend, for the week. And, it's fun. The All-Star Game is always a lot of fun. The MLB does a great job with it. That's one thing I will praise Rob Manfred for, is he does a pretty good job with the All-Star break. The draft just happened. The first day of the draft just happened. Day 2 is today. One thing I kind of want to talk about with the draft, with the MLB as opposed to the NFL, is in the NFL, the first overall pick of the draft ends up being like a stud right away in the NFL. And that's why the NFL draft is so hyped up, is because these guys are going to be playing for your team that year. A lot of these guys that are getting drafted on Saturday and Sunday in this MLB draft, a lot of these guys will never even see the MLB fields or be on the MLB level. And that's just what it takes. A lot of these guys will probably start in AA. The guys being drafted later, if they accept the draft, if they accept the contract, stuff like that, They will probably be in the lower levels. So there's rookie ball, low A, high A, double A, triple A, MLB for you guys that are unaware. But that's the reason why the MLB draft isn't really hyped up that much, is because a lot of these guys, if they make it to the MLB, it's going to be at least 4 years till they make it to the MLB. And again, a lot of these guys are going to be firefighters in 2 years. That's just the realistic reality of it. It sucks. These guys have had great careers, but that's just the MLB business for you. You just have to go through all these levels to go up. And the MLB is so big. How many guys play in MILB? Yeah, so there's approximately 5,500 players across minor league baseball. And then there are 5,500 in minor leagues. And then in the major leagues, there are 780. So you got to cut 5,500 down to 780. And that's not talking about the guys that are being from international coming into the U.S. So, it's hard. It's hard for a lot of these guys to make it to the MLB, but these signing bonuses should help them out a lot. And it's good. It's good for these kids to get drafted. Let's talk about the ABS. So this season, the ABS was implemented, and it is the best thing that the MLB has done in a long, long time. And I just want to go over some stats. What has the ABS done for Major League Baseball? So overall, the overturn rate, taps on the head, successful overturn rates are 53%. There have been 5,978 attempts so far this season. 3,186 calls have been overturned. That is 3,186 calls that would have been wrong last year. And these are all close calls. We're talking about games. Games have been overturned because of this. And I'm not saying it's the umpire's fault. It's hard. It's a strike zone. There's balls coming in at 100 miles an hour. It's hard. But I'm glad that the MLB implemented this. The batters have a 48% overturn rate with over 2,700 attempts and 1,300 overturned calls. And then the fielders and overall both pitchers and catchers combined are at a 58% overturn rate. Nearly 3,200 attempts, over 1,800 overturned calls. They're doing great. Now, catchers are at a 59% overturn rate with over 3,000 attempts, and pitchers are at a 37% overturn rate with just over 100 attempts. It's because the pitchers are very biased towards themselves. They're 60 feet 6 inches away from the plate, so they can't see the strike zone that well, and the catchers are right there. They're catching it. Pitchers also might see the frame a little bit, so I don't know. The ABS is the best thing to come from Major League Baseball, and we're halfway through the season, and we're already talking about over 3,000 calls being overturned. This is going to be the best thing that the MLB has ever done this century. I mean, am I being honest? I feel like that's great. Eliminating judgmental calls to have a fair game is phenomenal. Let's go over MLB standings. Jesus, we are still in the MLB news. I was expecting the MLB section to be a little bit short. Right now, the Rays are up 4 games in the AL East. They kind of took it away from the Yankees. You know, the Yankees without Judge, they're going to have to play the Dodgers coming back from the All-Star break. Yankees not in the best spot right now. They're 5-5 in the last 10 games and 4 games behind them. The Red Sox, Blue Jays, Orioles, all over 11 games back from the Rays. The AL Central, you have the White Sox and Guardians tied right now. Jesus. The Guardians have 50 wins, which is crazy. Like, the AL just sucks this year. They are atrocious this year. This is a tight division, though. The Twins are 3 games back. The Tigers are 5.5 games back. And then the Royals are 12 games back. Anybody's division, except for the Royals. But the Tigers could come back. I see the Tigers being sellers right now, but they might try to be buyers just because of how much their division sucks. I mean, just atrocious. And then the AL West, Jesus, the Rangers are they're just a half game over 500. Nobody else in that division is over 500, yet they are all pretty close. The Rangers are a game and a half ahead of the Mariners. The Astros 2 games back, and they're 47-50. Atrocious. Like, it hurts. It hurts to watch the AL West. The fact that the Astros are still going to make the playoffs is wild to me. The Athletics and Angels probably won't. The Angels 10.5 games back. I didn't know you could be 10.5 games back from a division that sucks so bad. Just halfway through the year. In the NL East, you have the Braves. The Braves are doing all right. They are 54-40, 2 games ahead of the Phillies. Phillies catching up there. Then the Marlins, a game behind there. The Marlins could honestly, I don't think it's going to happen, but the Marlins could win the NL East. Isn't that insane? And then 4 games after that, behind them are the Nationals, and then you have the Mets, 15 games back. The Mets, second highest payroll in the MLB. Halfway through the season, we're 15 games back. What are we doing? NL Central, you have the Brewers 6 games up against the Cubs. Cardinals 2.5 games behind the Cubs. Pirates 2 games behind them. And then the Reds, no man's land, 15.5 games back. The Brewers, the Brew Crew, the Dodgers, Brewers, and Braves will go into the postseason pretty decent. Everybody else might have to struggle a little bit. And then my favorite division, the NL West, the Dodgers. We were 14.5 games back earlier this week, but now just 14.5 games ahead of the Diamondbacks and Padres, but now we are just 12.5 games ahead of these guys. We're halfway through the season. You know, the Padres down to 3rd place, under 500. I would say I'm sad, but I'm honestly ecstatic that the Padres are that far down. The Diamondbacks, you know, the Dodgers and Diamondbacks have had a series going on against each other. The Diamondbacks have been winning the games. Who cares? The Dodgers could take 3 weeks off. It wouldn't matter. Honestly, Shohei can have a 3-week-long All-Star break if he wants. He doesn't have to play for 3 weeks, and the Dodgers would be just fine. Yeah, but I will say, I just noticed this in the NL West. Everybody in the last 10 games in the NL West is 500 or under. 4 teams are 500, and then the Madres are under 500. Shocker there. But yeah, that's just a little mid-season recap of where the standings stay. We still have 81 games left into the season. Actually, a little less than that. But yeah, let's talk about the World Cup. Let's play football. First, let's check out the TikTok Live. I don't think anything's happening on TikTok Live. If you guys are on the TikTok Live, make sure to follow if you have not already. But let's move on to the World Cup. We are here in the semifinals. The semifinal games being played on Tuesday? Tuesday and Wednesday? 1 second. I need to count. Yeah, Tuesday and Wednesday are going to be the semifinal games for the World Cup. You have Spain playing France on Tuesday, and then you have Argentina playing England on Wednesday. The winner of those games move on to the World Cup finals, which will be played on the 19th on next Sunday. Is that what I'm seeing? Next Sunday is the next World Cup game. 19th. I don't know. Is the 19th? Is July 19th? I'm pretty sure that's a Sunday. And it's National Ice Cream Day. I did not want to know that. What day is it? 2026. What day is it? Jeez. Sunday. Yes, next Sunday. Next Sunday will be the World Cup Finals. You have a third place game also on Saturday at 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. I think that Spain will beat France, and I think that Argentina will beat England, and then I think that Argentina will beat Spain. Argentina has had a pretty easy run through all of this. They've barely survived certain games. It's actually kind of fun because Spain had a tough time against Cape Verde, and Argentina also had a tough time against Cape Verde, which is hilarious to me that they are both going to face off against each other, and they both had tough times against Cape Verde, who has easily put themselves on the map just because of this World Cup. I think England and France will be in the third place bracket, in the third place playoff game, whatever you want to call it, and I think France will win that. So I think Argentina will win. Spain will be the runner-up. France will be the third place, and then England, you could say, is the fourth place. But, it's been a great World Cup. Honestly, really entertaining. I've loved working the World Cup, not working the World Cup, making content for the World Cup, for Gamby, for HatTrick Sports, and all of that. And every game's honestly really fun to watch. But now we just have 1, 2, 3. We only have 4 games left. 4 games left, and it's over. And one of the games doesn't even really matter. The third place game doesn't really matter. But I'm excited. Spain, Lamine Yamal, Argentina, Lionel Messi. Who's going to win it all? I don't know. France, Mbappe, England, King Charles. I mean, it's not anybody's game. I don't think England's going to win it, but I think the other 3 teams have a fair shot at winning it. Spain, France, that's going to be the game. Spain and France is going to be the best semifinal game, and then obviously the finals next Sunday. I'm excited. But I still think Argentina wins it all, even though they've had, I wouldn't say a rough tournament, but they've barely survived certain games in the tournament. All right, let's move on to the NFL, a group led by Vinod Khosla. Khosla, a group led by Vinod Khosla, has agreed to buy the Seattle Seahawks for a reported $9.612 billion. Oh my goodness, that is a record for an NFL franchise. The NFL and NFL owners still have to approve it in August. There's a special meeting scheduled for August. But Khosla is the founder of Khosla Ventures and has a net worth of $13.8 billion. He was an early investor in OpenAI, DoorDash, and Instacart. And he was previously a limited partner in the 49ers. But when the 49ers lost, he was like, hey, I want to be a winner. Where do I have to go to be a winner? The other side of the NFC West, the Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks, and buy them for nearly $10 billion. So he has to sell his portion of the 49ers for like $5 or something, however much the 49ers are worth. But basically the Seahawks own the 49ers is what I'm hearing. The team was owned by the Paul Allen estate, who co-founded Microsoft, and then when he died in 2018, his sister was carrying on the team, and then the sister was saying that whatever she could sell it for, she would donate to charity. So $10 billion going to charity. Hey, so Allen originally bought the Seahawks in the 1996-1997, saving them from relocating to Southern California. And for context of how much $10 billion is for an NFL franchise, the Commanders were sold for $6 billion in 2023, and the Broncos were sold for $4.65 billion in 2022. This blows both of them out of the water. Not even close. Nearly $10 billion for your Super Bowl champions. Only the Lakers sailed to Mark Walter in 2025 for $10 billion is higher for any American sports franchise. And so the Seahawks have made the playoffs 7 of the last 10 years and just won the Super Bowl. Is it an overprice, especially for how the Seahawks offseason has been and how they're expected to do? Yes, I will admit that. But it's incredible. It's incredible to see the Seahawks have a new owner, especially stealing the owners from the 49ers. I mean, it makes my heart warm and fuzzy. And, hey, I'm hearing back-to-back. I'm not trying to be greedy, but I'm hearing back-to-back. All right, let's talk about Victor Wembanyama signing a contract. He signed a 5-year, $252 million maximum rookie extension with the Spurs. He said, Spurs family, I'm here to stay. This includes a player option in the 5th year. He left $51 million on the table, and he chose the 25% max over the 35% super max, which would have been $303 million. To give San Antonio the flexibility to build around him. We saw Jalen Brunson do this. And, the Spurs lost to Brunson, so maybe Wemby's like, hey, I see what it takes to be a real winner now. I'll give up $50 million to allow ourselves to have a better chance at winning a championship. Incredible. Good job, Wemby. We love a selfless alien. This is the 3rd largest rookie extension in NBA history, but behind Cade Cunningham, who got paid $269 million. So this season, Wemby was averaging 25 points per game, 11.5 rebounds a game, and 3.08 blocks per game, winning Defensive Player of the Year, all NBA first team, and was obviously an all-star starter and making the NBA Finals. He's the seventh player in NBA history to average 25 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 blocks in a season. What's good is that the entire starting unit for the Spurs are returning to the Spurs. They're all going to stay there. They were this close to winning it all. They had Wemby's West. But maybe a little bit more of a team chemistry. Maybe practicing a little bit more to beat the Knicks, who did incredible in the finals. But they were right there. They definitely have a chance to win it all. And I'm excited to see what the Spurs can do this year. And, I'm excited. I think this is great for the Spurs, great for Wemby, and great for the NBA. I feel like a lot of people want to see the aliens stay in one spot and kind of have like a Mike Trout kind of thing, like where he just stays for the Angels, or you could say Madison Bumgarner or Clayton Kershaw. For MLB terms like that. But that is going to do it for the 157th episode of the HatTrick Sports Podcast. Thank you all for watching. You can listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean, your Amazon Alexa, YouTube for all the visuals. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. Go to shop@HatTrickSports.com, get the best merch around, or scan this QR code. I forgot I was wearing this shirt. And we will see you guys next week for episode 158.